I think he should take a cognitive test like I did. I took a cognitive test and I aced it. Doc Ronnie Johnson. Does everyone know Ronnie Johnson, congressman from Texas? He was the White House doctor. How good did Elise Stepanek do? You know, we've endorsed Dr. Oz. We've endorsed JP, right? JD Mandel, and he's doing great. Jimmy Connors is good. He's also happy. Mike Bolton, John Bolton is here. Mike Bolton, as you know, is in Russia.
And there was progress today. I look forward to solving it.
Thank you, Steve. It was Trump's fault. It's always Trump's fault. Can it ever be like Rick Gates' fault? I mean, we have some of our great business leaders and leaders, period, right behind me. I may ask Marilyn Lockheed. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Yes, please, Mr. Kurd.
Thank you very much for your time.
And Putin, you know, has so little respect for Obama that he's starting to throw around the nuclear word today. You heard that, nuclear.
Thanks for giving your first comments on the bill on this show. It means a lot to us. We appreciate it, sir. Thanks a lot.
You have a deal. Thanks a lot. Bye.
I had to throw that last one in because someone like Dana Bongino, whose entire life for the better part of like a half decade at least, if not a full decade, has been sucking up to Donald Trump. He comes on your show, he calls you Joe. But honestly, do you even take that personally? He thinks Matt Gaetz is Rick. Matt Gaetz is not, he's not like running for state senate for the first time. He's been a national figure thanks to Trump for years. And so there's all these people that he works with every day and can't remember their name. There's ones where he'll say like JP and JD. One of those has to be wrong because you changed it, but he just goes with both or whatever. And then there's the weird thing he does where it's almost like Michael Scott when he like has his like heuristic for remembering people's name. He'll say what they do as their name. Like Apple becomes your last name, Lockheed. And then he calls someone Mr. Kurd because they're Kurdish. Now look, some of those go back from, back in the years when he was president or whatever. I don't know if it's better or worse, but that is just a small part, less than half of what Midas Touch put together.
Yeah, what do you think it's like now, John? Is it better or is it worse? And I'd like to say it's because he had a lot on his mind, but it's two things. I think it's half of this with Trump is he doesn't care enough about people to remember their names. And half of it is, his brain is leaking out of his skull very, very slowly, right? Like through the bronzer that he puts on. That is what's happening. Or he's inhaling, or he needs to switch up bronzers. You know what I'm saying? Go with like some sort of like, clay, organic stuff. But like he truly, it's like when I try to remember different like new ghouls in the Republican Party. Mike, Rick, Johnson, Matt. Like I don't know. It's probably one of those.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
Yeah, he honestly doesn't care, and I just hope that every one of those people, when he says it to them, I hope that that's how they interpret it, that he doesn't care at all about you, despite that your life is just in service to him. That is all you are, that is your highest aspiration, and he doesn't even care enough to remember your name. He also knows it doesn't matter. Like he knows that if he makes all these mistakes, his base doesn't care. The fact that, like, to take it back to the first thing where he's whining about us pointing out his cognitive, decline. When he said, I give a speech that's so beautiful, genius, amazing, beautiful stuff. I know I'm naive. I still will never understand why. That sort of statement should be enough, a red flag to tell people that this is not a good guy. Like, when blowhards around you talk 1/50th as positively about themselves as he does on a routine basis, it is a sign that this is not a good person. This is a person who's obsessed with themselves, is not a person to be trusted. And yet he enthusiastically does that, and they love it. They love that his rambling talk about shark electrocutions he refers to as the most beautiful speech that's ever been given. But anyway, like he doesn't like that we're pointing it out. And in that clip of his, by the way, and we can discuss this for a minute, he refers to the fact that when he makes all these mistakes over and over about messing up Nikki Haley, Nancy Pelosi, and all that stuff, and then comes out and says, I was being sarcastic or something, which obviously doesn't hide the fact that no, it's just your brain's falling apart. He wants this election to be, I have a beautiful brain and Joe Biden is falling apart, and that's it. And he doesn't like that there's now been a media pushback to the so-called cheap fakes the videos of Joe Biden that do show that he's awkward and he's old and he's slow, but that's not enough for these people. They have to lie about what's actually in the videos by selectively editing them. He hates the fact that there's pushback against that. So much so that in that extended video, he redoes one. So there was the video of Biden outside where they cut it so it looks like he's just staring off at nothing. But when you see the full video, you know that Joe Biden was admittedly awkwardly staring at a paratrooper coming down. And the paratrooper comes down and Biden's looking at him. That's what he's there to do, is to see the paratrooper, so he's staring at one. What Trump tells in that video is that everyone is looking at paratroopers and Joe Biden is looking at a tree. That's not even the original lie that the right tried to tell. The original lie wasn't good enough for him. Now he has to come up with a wholly new one. But again, it only goes out to his base and they're never gonna question literally any of it, any more than they'll question whether Matt Gaetz' name is Rick.
I mean, for me, the Midas Touch videos are for specific people online. They are online MAGA trolls. There aren't very many of them. They're incredibly vocal. They think Elon Musk, will allow them to be like their third in a throuple, and like they'll be able to like make out with him in a Cybertruck one day. And so that's what I like about these videos, is that they will at least show the trolls that they worship a straight up senile, angry idiot. Actually, they like the angry part, but he's a senile idiot. So, and senility is almost the least of his problems. All of these problems existed before, but he's just slowing down. And Trump's version of slowing down is becoming even more unhinged and having more blips and bloops. We haven't talked about the parachute thing. Maybe we did, but the paratrooper thing with Biden, I thought it's just like, it's like, you just go back to the impeachment, people. I don't know, because you've got so much nothing. I initially saw the video and I was like, oh wow, I don't know, what was he looking at? And when you see the wide, there might as well be like circus elephants, sort of like clawing up at him and doing, standing on a ball. It was like quite amazing. Now, I don't know, y'all. Have you all had paratroopers or paragliders or whomever, parachuters land 5 feet from you? Kind of cool. It's kind of amazing. I'd probably look at it.
Kind of, yeah. And again, we're not being like, he was looking at a paratrooper and that means he's totally together. He's a genius. He's a man filled with vim and we don't worship Biden like they worship Trump. I can say that the videos do show him looking old and slow, and that should be enough for them, but it's not, because again, the whole Trump thing is not about having someone who's authentic and like tells it like it is. It's someone who will tell it 1,000 times more insane than it is. And that's what they want. They want that dark purity. And that's what he provides. Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.